Welcome back, dear students. So, after the importance of anatomy in taxonomy, so as you know that anatomy, it is the study of gross internal structure of the plant and plant organs, that is called as the anatomy. So the anatomy forms as an important tool in the taxonomy for identification, nomenclature and the classification of the plant. The specific anatomical structures such as vascular rays, pitting pattern, growth rings, sieve tubes, nature of collenchyma, sclerenchyma, storage tissue helps to assign the plants to the particular family. So this is about the importance of anatomy in taxonomy. Next to this is the importance of anatomy in physiology. So physiology is the branch of the botany that deals with the study of the life processes, that is the metabolic biochemical processes that takes place in the plant throughout its life cycle, that is called as the physiology. So physiology is the study of all the life processes performed by the plant, right from the seed germination to the senescence and the death of the plant. All these metabolic and biochemical processes are studied in the physiology. So the study of the physiology, in the study of the physiology, the plant anatomy has been used. So this is the importance of the anatomy in the physiology. So physiology, as you know that, it deals with the study of metabolic processes in the plant. This study needs basic knowledge of the anatomy. So the basic knowledge of the anatomy has been used in the study of various metabolic processes of the plant. So the first importance is it helps to understand the concepts of osmosis, ascent of sap, water and mineral absorption, nature and position of tissues and internal structure of the organ concerns with these processes. So to understand the physiological processes such as osmosis, so osmosis is the movement of the solvent from a region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So for this movement of the water from its higher concentration to the lower concentration, some internal structures helps to perform this process, this physiological function. Next to this is the ascent of sap. So this is the upliftment of the water and minerals from root to the shoot of the plant. So the internal structure of the stem that possesses various tissue that are ideally suited for the continuous flow of water from root to the shoot of the plant. Water and mineral absorption. So these are the various physiological processes. These processes are understood by the nature and the position of tissues and internal structure of the plant organ concerned with these processes. So these processes are performed by the plant because of the specific internal structure of the plant organ, its nature and position of the tissue. This helps to perform these physiological processes. The structure of xylem, phloem, endodermis, etc. helps to understand the above metabolic processes. Anatomical nature of the stomata, such as types of stomata, whether it is a normal or sunken stomata. So sunken stomata that are found in the xerophytic plant to avoid or to reduce the rate of transpiration. So transpiration is one of the physiological process where the loss of water takes place in the form of vapors from the aerial part of the plant. So sunken stomata that saves the water in case of xerophytic plant. So this is the ecological adaptation of the plant where there is a less water or there is a scarcity of the water. So the type of stomata, type of guard cells, presence of trichomes, number of layers of hypodermis, presence of cuticle on epidermis and the clearly gives an idea about important physiological process such as transpiration in plant. So these anatomical structures, that is the For example, stomata. So the type of stomata, type of guard cells, presence of trichomes, number of layers of hypodermis, presence of cuticle on epidermis clearly gives an idea about the importance of the physiological processes such as transpiration in plant. So these are the important internal structures or the character that helps for the physiological process such as the transpiration in the plant. To understand the effect of light, mineral element, plant hormones, etc., anatomical characters of the respective organs plays an important role. So to understand these physiological processes, in the previous point we seen that the various anatomical structures are important. Similarly, to understand the effect of light, mineral element, plant hormones, anatomical characters of the respective plant organs plays an important role. The detailed study of tissues concerned with the conduction of water and mineral salts and the anatomy of xylem helps to understand the concept of ascent of sap. So the study of tissue concerned with the conduction of water and mineral salt and the anatomy of xylem helps to understand the concept of the ascent of sap. So during the ascent of sap, there is an upliftment of water and minerals from root to the shoot of the plant. So xylem is the main tissue which forms the conducting strands or a conducting system from root to the shoot of the plant. So this conduction of water and minerals that has been takes place during the ascent of sap, where the anatomy of the xylem helps to understand these processes. Next importance is anatomy helps to understand the concept of photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is one of the important process where the green plants can able to synthesize their food material by using the solar energy. So they convert solar energy into the chemical energy. So the photosynthesis is the one of the important process in the or on the planet Earth or in plant physiology. So anatomy helps to understand the concept of photosynthesis by knowing the location of chlorophyllous tissue. So chlorophyllous tissue, it is the bundle sheath chloroplast and mesophyll chloroplast. Palisade ratio, nature of the stomatal complex, etc. In C4 plant, leaf shows Kranz anatomy. So it is a special type of leaf structure found in the C4 plant which gives the better fixation of the CO2. So the first stable product form in the C4 plant is a 4-carbon compound which is found to be the more efficient in the carbon fixation. So this is useful to study the process of photosynthesis. So this Kranz anatomy is the characteristic of the C4 plant where C4 type of cycle, that is the carbon fixation, has been takes place. Ultrastructure of chloroplast is very important to explain the photosynthetic process. So the process of or the concept of photosynthesis is well known by the location of the chlorophyllous tissue. It is the whether it is bundle sheath chloroplast or mesophyll chloroplast, nature of stomatal complex. Similarly, in case of C4 plant, the leaf shows Kranz anatomy. So these internal structures or the characters are useful to understand the concept of photosynthesis. Anatomy of source and sink has a very important role in calculating the productivity and yield of the plant, which depends on the physiology of the plant. So the translocation of the food material from the site of synthesis, that is called as the source. So site of synthesis in plant is the leaf, and from source it is transported to the other part of the plant, that is for example stem, root. So this is referred as sink. The anatomy of the source, that is the leaf structure, and the sink, that is the structure of the other plant, has very important role in calculating the productivity and the yield of the plant, which depends on the physiology of plant. Presence of storage cells, vacuoles, oil cavities in plants provide an idea about storage of reserve food and secondary metabolites. Structure of phloem, phloem parenchyma, etc. help to explain phloem loading and unloading process in plants. So during the translocation of the food material from source to sink, these two processes, that is the phloem loading and unloading, has been takes place in the plant. So the structure of the phloem and its elements, for example, sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma, helps to perform the phloem loading and unloading processes in the plant. So this structure of the phloem and its element helps to explain the physiological process like phloem loading and unloading. Next is the importance of anatomy in ecological interpretation. So here the knowledge of the anatomy has been used for studying the ecological adaptation of the plant. So on the basis of ecological adaptation, there are three groups of the plant: hydrophytes, xerophytes and mesophytes. So certain internal structures that are useful for the ecological interpretation of the plant. Every plant reacts with the environment in which it grows. This leads to change in the morphology, anatomy and the physiology of the plant. So when dealing with the environment, the plant makes certain adjustment in their morphology, anatomy and the physiology. Such adjustments or the changes in characters is known as the ecological adaptation. So these ecological adaptations with respect to the environment leads to change in the morphology, anatomy and the physiology of the plant. So the anatomy has been used for studying the various ecological adaptations of the plant. Internal adaptations in plants can be detected by anatomical study. These characters helps in detecting the habitat and interpreting the effect of environmental factors on the plant. With the help of specific anatomical characters, plants can be separated into special ecological groups such as hydrophytes, xerophytes, mesophytes, halophytes, etc. All these groups have special anatomical features. So these anatomical features has been used for the interpretation of the special ecological groups such as hydrophytes, xerophytes, mesophytes, halophytes, etc. Characters such as absence of stomata, poorly developed mechanical tissue and conducting tissue, presence of parenchyma indicate hydrophytic nature of the plant. So stomata are mainly meant for the exchange of gases and for the process of transpiration, where the water in the form of vapor has been escaped from the plant through the stomata. Similarly, poorly developed mechanical tissue. Conducting tissue. So conducting tissue is mainly concerned with the conduction of water and minerals. Presence of parenchyma. So these are the anatomical characters which indicates that the plant is of a hydrophytic nature, because the plants are growing in the water. So there is a plenty water, or they are growing, or they are in a close contact with the water. So the stomata has been absent in these plants. There is a poorly developed mechanical tissue, conducting tissue, because plants are growing in the water. There is no need to conduct water from a long distance. Presence of a simple tissue, that is the parenchyma in such plants. So this is the hydrophytic nature of the plant. So the characters that has been present, that is the internal characters which are present in the plant, indicate the hydrophytic nature of the plant. These characters are absence of stomata, poorly developed mechanical tissue and conducting tissue, presence of parenchyma. Next importance is presence of sunken stomata, cuticle, sclerenchymatous hypodermis, well developed conducting tissues indicate xerophytic nature of the plant, because these plants are growing in the region where there is a scarcity of water. So in this plant, to cope up with the minimum amount of water, this plant has been developed with a presence of sunken stomata, cuticle, sclerenchymatous hypodermis. So these structures are concerned with the to reduce the loss of water, sunken stomata, cuticle. while the sclerenchymatous hypodermis, well developed conducting tissue. So these are involved in the conduction of water and minerals. So these are the characters, anatomical characters, which indicates the xerophytic nature of the plants. Presence of chloroplast in the epidermal cells, presence of stomata on both epidermis indicate shade loving habit of the plants. By studying the stomatal complex, one can detect the effect of air pollution on the plant. The biotic and abiotic stress tolerance in plant can be very well understood by studying their anatomical features. So this is all about the importance of anatomy in ecological interpretation. Now the importance of anatomy in pharmacognosy. So it is concerned with the various drugs that has been present in the plant. These are referred as the herbal drugs. So majority of the crude drugs are obtained from the plants. Plant parts are known as organized crude drugs. Value of these herbal crude drugs lies in their purity and authenticity. Many anatomical methods are used in the identification of the crude drugs and also in detecting adulterants. So these herbal drugs which are present in the plant are studied by using anatomical methods, and these methods used are section cutting, clearing and peeling, maceration, micrometry, phytochemical and histochemical techniques. So these are the anatomical methods used for study of various herbal drugs that are present in the plant part and in the whole plant. So the anatomical methods has been used in the study of the herbal crude drugs. For example, one of the anatomical method we take here for as an example, by sectioning. So sectioning is one of the method. The anatomical nature of the drug is studied and compared with the genuine material. Next example, clearing and peeling is carried out in case of drugs derived from leaves. So this sectioning, clearing and peeling, maceration, micrometry, phytochemical and histochemical testing, these are the anatomical methods, and these methods are used for studying the various herbal crude drugs present in the plant, also the purity of the drug and its authenticity. So in the second example, clearing and peeling is the one of the anatomical method which is carried out in case of drugs derived from the leaves. These preparations are used for detecting the nature of epidermal cells, venation pattern, vein islet number, stomatal number and stomatal index. These observations can be compared with the standard values. Maceration is another one anatomical method, is generally practiced for drugs derived from stem, wood and bark, and with the help of macerated material so procured can be then used to study stone cells, fibers and the xylem vessels. So maceration is one of the anatomical method used for the drugs that is present in the stem, wood and bark. So to obtain the drugs from the various plant part like stem, wood and bark, the maceration, one of the anatomical method has been used. By micrometry technique, size of the fibers, vessels, spores can be measured to know the reliable source. Histochemical test helps in detection and localization of the secondary metabolites of the drugs. With the help of histochemical test, chemical nature of the therapeutical principles can be confirmed in the drugs. So histochemical test is one of the anatomical method used in the detection and the localization of the secondary metabolites of the drugs. With the help of this phytochemical test, chemical nature of the active principles of the therapeutic principles of the drugs can be confirmed. And the last is the importance of anatomy in wood identification. So wood, that is mostly made up of the xylem. So application of anatomy in the identification of wood is a common practice. Identification of the wood with external characters is not possible in majority of the plants. So by obtaining transverse, tangential, longitudinal that we called as a TLS. Radial longitudinal section, RLS. Detailed anatomical characters of the wood can be studied. So by sectioning, we can take the transverse section, TLS, RLS for detailed anatomical characters of the wood. The characters mainly observed are pattern of the secondary growth, position and nature of growth rings, the presence or absence and the nature of sclerenchyma of pericycle, width and length of medullary rays and the nature of medullary rays help to understand the nature of wood. So to identify the wood, its nature, the various anatomical characters such as the pattern of secondary growth, position and nature of growth ring, presence or absence and the nature of sclerenchyma of pericycle, width and length of medullary rays, nature of medullary rays. So these anatomical characters are useful to understand the nature of the wood, that is in the wood identification. Teak wood, sandalwood, softwood, hardwood, wood of sesame can be identified by knowing their wood anatomy. So this is the economically important wood that are used in various functions. So teak wood, we know teak साग म्हणतो आपण त्याला, teak wood, sandalwood चंदनाचं लाकूड, softwood, hardwood, wood of sesame. So this is the economically important timber that has been used for various functions to perform various activities. So by knowing the wood anatomy, we can identify this type of wood such as teak wood, sandalwood, wood of sesame. The distribution pattern, diameter and frequency of the vessels as seen in the TS can also be observed. Types of perforation, thickening of vessels, length and diameter of the vessels can also be observed. The type of wood parenchyma also help to study wood anatomy. So this is all about the importance of anatomy in wood identification. So in this way we finish our chapter first, which consists of introduction to anatomy, definition of anatomy and the importance of anatomy in taxonomy, physiology, ecological interpretation, pharmacognosy and in wood identification. So this is all for today. Stay home, be safe.